And now we are down to the Access program. Access is a database program. Just to review, we, we did Word, where you make documents. It's kind of like a typewriter. We did Excel, where you make spreadsheets or worksheets, and it's good for crunching numbers. We did PowerPoint, which makes these lovely slides that accompany your presentation. And now we're doing Access, which is a database program that holds and organizes information so you can find it later. Word you'll use a lot. Excel, I hope you will start using more and more because the more you use it, the more uses you can find. PowerPoint is just everywhere and you can use it for all kinds of things. I actually make little picture boards with PowerPoint using PowerPoints because you can drop all the photographs in there and make a collage. Anyway, now Access, you probably will never use again. Access. However, even if you never drive a Ford again, you will probably drive a car again. And Access is one example, one company that manufactures database. It's a Microsoft product. However, databases are used everywhere, and almost every occupation uses databases. And our goal for you for this activity is to learn the basic concepts of a database, how they fit together, what kinds of things you can do with them. Then, if you're in the medical field and you have your electronic medical records, your EMRs, you'll say, oh, this is a database. And if you go to accounting and they say, yes, we use QuickBooks, and you'll say, oh, it's a big database with a spreadsheet embedded. And if you go to the car auto zone or one of the car places and say, I have a 2020 Chevrolet whatever, and I need a such and such for it, and they go plunkety plunk, okay, you need such and such part number, here it is. Wherever you go, whatever you do, you'll understand that what they're doing is searching the database or querying the database. We'll come to that. And extracting information out of it that you can use. A database lets you hold, organize, and find information that you can use. Is that an extended explanation? Yes, but if you understand it now, it will help you so much more later when you're actually using whichever one you will use for the rest of your life or whichever ones you will use. So let's go see what we're going to do this time. As before, this is the first chapter of the set of the software, and so there will be introductory information at the beginning of it, and you would actually start down on AC 1-5 where it says creating a table in Design View, okay? So just so you know. Let's go back and see what we're going to make. Just a second while I flip through the page. Probably this video is going to be a little bit longer because there are so many new concepts for you. It's not that it's hard. It is strange, and the screen is strange, but it's not hard. It's just different. So you're going to make, in a database, you have, to use a school example, all the students are together in a database. All the teachers are together in a table. Students in a table, teachers in a table, classrooms in a table, textbooks in a table, um, salary information maybe in the employee table. And then whenever you need a piece of information, you'll say, okay, give me students from this students, you take from the students table, who are taking Mrs. Masood as a teacher, who are taking COMG 153 as a class, and which book are they going to use? And it picks out the pieces of information you out of the database and then gives you a result so you can see which textbook you all students should buy for the 153 class. So individual tables, each table is a noun. You remember a noun is a person, place, or thing. we have here an owner's table. Well, what would go in a student table? Well, you have your student number, you have your first name, your last name, and nowadays you have your preferred name, your address, city, state, zip, phone number, email address, like that. But we do the same thing with a table. So each table will have columns that represent fields, a lot of terminology, fields that are things about one of those whatevers. If we have an owner is in one row, a row is a record. In one row, we would have an owner ID and an owner first name, an owner last name, an owner street, an owner city, an owner state, and every owner has one. Now, if your name is John Smith or Jane Smith, and your email address at Mod is jsmith153 at mcc.edu, that means that there have been 152 before you, people with J. Smith name, and so they tacked a number on. Similarly, no two people have the same social security number, otherwise you couldn't tell which one was which. So you have to have we call it a primary key, another term, a primary key that will uniquely identify each record. Each record is one of those whatevers. And so for you at Mott, it's a student number. I have a student number at Mott. My number is so old that it starts with 4 zeros, 0000, and then 501. I'm pretty old. So, well, anyway, so you have an individual student number as the primary key, and then the information about you. We have in this database, in the Mott Community College database, we have owners and we have patients. This is a medical database. And we have appointments and we have treatments, cost of treatment, so they could send you a bill. And we have names of veterinarians all in one table. So you have all in one database. You have one big database with multiple little tables in it. And then, so in this lesson, you're going to learn how to create the tables essentially, and we'll give you an exposure just to the other things that you can do with the database later on. Just one second, let me show you, I'm sorry, a couple of PowerPoint slides. What we'll do here is, there are 4, we call them objects, 4 objects in a database. There are some more, but we don't do them. 4 objects. The table, you have to know these. The table holds the data. So whatever you do with it, whatever reports you write, the table holds the data in individual tables. Then you have a form that lets you look at the data on the screen. So when you go to the car store and you're trying to get a part, the guy's back there, the lady, clunking, looking up this, that, and they're looking on the screen. They're not looking to like in the old days, they look in a book. Don't have to do that anymore. You just look on the screen. So a form lets you view the data. You can make changes too, but view on screen. A report is the same thing except you print it on paper. So form and report are the same. Form is on screen and report is on paper. And a query, if you say query is how you say it. And don't start laughing if you know don't start laughing. This is actually a British word that means question. And they use it in British English. They use it for a question. I would like to query you on this matter, but we use it mostly only for this. Anyway, a query lets you extract from each different table pieces of data and put them together so you can get the information you want. Those are the 4 things we'll learn how to do. In Access 1, you'll learn how to make tables. You make a couple each of the forms and reports. That's not, they're not so hard. And then we'll do one query now, and Access 2, the whole Access 2 is making queries. So you learn different ways of extracting information. Pulling out, extract means to pull out something. Okay, so it's important to know those terms so you don't get confused in all this. Now, important to understand is that Access is strange. When you open the Access database, it yanks the whole database and puts it in computer memory, the RAM memory of the computer, and all the time you're working on it, it's just holding it in the memory. Now, when we did the other software programs, we said save, 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 Control S, Control S, Control S. We don't do that in Access. And is it nerve-wracking? Yes, it is. Very much so. But it's all held in memory. If you lose electricity in the middle of it and you don't have a UPS uninterruptible power supply to hold your battery until you can shut down, you will be retyping. When you close the file, if the whole thing will be saved back to your hard drive or cloud storage all at one time. Okay, you have to close the file. You can't just, you have to close the file. The other thing then it means is that you have to name the file at the beginning so it can reserve some space in memory for that. You have to choose a post office box to save the information in. Anyway, close it. Now, the way you can tell if you have it properly closed is you look down on the screen with me. If you have two files of that name and one is .accdb, you're good. If you have one. If you have two and one of them is laccdb, do you see that? laccdb, that means you did not close your database. Do not try to upload your file to Canvas because we cannot see it. You must close it first. Sorry, but that's the way it is. So then what you're going to do here is we'll have a database with these 4 tables in it, and we'll practice, we'll make the 4 tables and learn how to create a table, how to enter, how to edit the data in the table. Then you'll make a form to view on the screen. You'll make a report to print on paper. You don't have to print it, but you have to see how to print it. And we'll do one query now, and then next time we'll do a whole bunch of queries. Mindset. This is not hard. It's different from anything I've done before, but it's an exciting adventure, like downloading a new game on your phone. Self-brainwashing. It works wonders. Enjoy.